morning, everyone. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for today, Wednesday, February the 1st, 2017.
Commissioner Rivas, Repenning, James, and Jacinto are present. President James, we have a quorum. May we start with Bureau introductions, please, starting with Bureau of Street Services.
Good morning, Tim Tyson, Bureau of Street Services.
Good morning, Steve Chen, Bureau of Engineering.
Good morning, Chris Smith, Bureau of Contract Administration.
Good morning, Ruben Flamenco, Bureau of Street Lighting.
Good morning, Anita Fernandez, LA Sanitation.
Good morning, Ted Jordan, Public Works General Counsel.
Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. President James, we do not have any speaker cards under general public comment, nor any comments under the Neighborhood Council comment section. We did receive speaker cards under items number 5 and 9 for today's agenda.
Okay, we'll close general public comment as well as the Neighborhood Council category of commentary. Is there a second to my motion that we approve the meeting minutes from the meeting of Friday, January 13th, 2017? By Commissioner Repenning. Any objection? With that objection, we will do so. Agenda item number 12, an oral report on the Small Business Academy semi-annual progress update from the Bureau of Contract Administration. Ms. Choi.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for allowing me to be here today to talk about what's been happening in the world of small businesses in the last year. I would like to report that one of the successful things we did last year was to get our proprietary departments who each had their own small business certification program going on. So we were able to bring them together and have one small business proprietary certification that was good for any of those departments. So that was a good thing that we did for small businesses. Secondly, we've been active with our RFQ for sidewalks, which is really good because out of the 35, 24 are brand new companies, and that's what we want to see. We want to be able to get companies who've never done work with the city, and so we will be hand-holding these companies to make sure they succeed in the projects that they receive through the program. And of course, BCA has been very active with Commissioners Repenning and Davis on the ad hoc business meeting to find ways we can increase participation from our small businesses. So that's really going well. We've already had our 2 meetings, and in February we'll be having another one. Finally, I have with me graduates, 3 graduates of this past year's Small Business Academy. You know, we've instituted it 3 years ago, and with the support of DWP, the department, our department, Water and Power, and POLA, airports, and USC.
So POLA, the Port of Los Angeles?
Yes. We've been, this is the 3rd academy that we had. 9 weeks of classes at USC, and the emphasis this year was for our disabled veteran businesses, and so we actually had 6 of the 33 participants who were disabled veteran businesses. So it was really great. It was a wonderful class, and I have with me today Richard Worster, who's with ADP Engineering, and he represents the DVBE firm. We have Jacqueline Rivera, Alliance Construction Services, and then Renee Cleveland. Girls will be girls dumping. So the 3 are here, and I told them they have about a minute just to share their experience and what it was like to be in the academy. So come on up.
Great, thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Rich Worster. I'm with ADP Engineering. We are a small and locally emerging business per the city's designations, and I'm also a disabled veteran business enterprise. And we are feeling much better today. Yesterday we got our first big check from the city, so from LADWP, thank you very much. And that was really, frankly, due to the education that we received from the Small Business Academy. We would have never gotten through the paperwork if it weren't for their help, and it was just a lot of hand-holding and one-on-one. So the only thing I would love to see is if there were an ongoing education, even though it's daunting to get to the location, wherever it is that we need to go to get that education. I think those of us that are motivated to get there will do it. They provided education, they provided hand-holding, like I said, and personally, I can't say enough. I'm just very pleased, so thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your participation and your service.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jackie Rivera of Alliance Construction, and part of what we do is actually the exterior building. So if you're like me and you're right at 7th and Fig, you'd want to look up and see all those cranes moving, the jackhammer sound. That's just the sound of improvement. And you want to capture just as much building in your social media so you can share it. And that's exactly what the Small Business Academy did. They have captured just enough of the salient features of how it is to do business with the City of Los Angeles and its agencies. They have brought in speakers and lecturers in front of us, and now I personally have a mindset of, or a glimpse of the mindset of my future buyers. So now I can continue grooming our fledgling company to be the kind of contractor that they want to work with. They have personified the bidding process, and they have really also personified what success could be. Look at me, Jackie Rivera, in front of you, a minority, an immigrant, a woman, a mother, a wife. And tomorrow I'll be submitting my first bid with the LAX. Well, my partner right now is probably at 900 West Washington in Alameda. So thank you. And if this were actually more than just a 9-week program, I'd sign up for it even more. So for the cohorts that came before me and after me, I hope they will also have the same success as we did. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your participation.
Good morning. My name is Renee Cleveland. I'm from Girls Will Be Girls Trucking. This Small Business Academy I have shared was like Yale for me. I come from 53 years of small businessmen, but coming to this academy, it made me see that I could go farther than my father did in the business. It taught me business strategies. It taught me how to be available, how to follow up on things that I were exposed to. I've started a business. I've only been in business since August myself. But when I say it's overwhelming to a certain degree because the exposure that I got from saying I graduated from the Small Business Academy, I was able to get 3 spots on the Inglewood Stadium, and I don't even have a truck yet. So they are really pushing me. And this academy, when I say I came 9 weeks, I was not going to be late. I wanted perfect attendance. Everything that they had, I was like a sponge. And I tell you, I would not be where I am today. The state of California is getting me in a program where I can help transition drivers that come back and need to be reunited in the city. Again, if it wasn't for this program, I walk around like I graduated from Yale. I tell everyone of all the commissioners that have given me the opportunity, thank you for this forum. Everything that I am from my father's foundation along with this has made me feel like I can be anything that I want to be. Girls will be girls trucking. My name is Renee Cleveland, and I approve this message.
Thank you, Ms. Cleveland.
Thank you so much.
So do we.
And thank you, Commissioner Jacinto, for joining us at the launch and the graduation. We really appreciate all your support. And then the next class, again, will be in 2017 in the fall. And this time we will focus on personal services consultants. So that'll be our focus this year. So we're looking forward to the new academy, and let the word out. If you know any consultants, small businesses who can benefit, let us know. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you, Hannah. Commissioner Repenning?
Sure. I just want to congratulate the participants of the Small Business Academy. This board believes that the funds that we spend as a city, as a department, on services, on projects, should also be used. I mean, we have a mission as a public agency to make sure that we are boosting our local economy, that we are lifting up our local communities, that we are supporting the small businesses that are really the heart and soul of our local communities. And so you are exactly who we're trying to reach when we do this type of outreach. I really want to thank Hannah, along with Linda and John. It's been great to really have a chance to work with you guys to look at the different ways that we can do more to diversify our contracting, to support small and local businesses, women-owned, minority-owned businesses. And you guys are just, you're so smart and you're so dedicated to the work that we do. And I just want to appreciate you. I want to appreciate our partners from the other agencies who help us put on the Small Business Academy. I think it's a great program, and appreciate all the work that went into it. Look forward to next year.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Repenning. Commissioner Jacinto.
Thank you, President James. Hannah, great report. And to see our participants here first voice and hear their narrative is so compelling, whether you're a disabled veteran who provided service first time, you're going to get your first contract, or that you have contracts and you're getting your stuff in line. Renee, that is wonderful. Thank you for sharing this narrative with our city. I think it's so significant. I want to thank as well, to second Commissioner Repenning, BCA, John, Hannah, Linda. Your relationship and coordinating with the proprietaries is so important to how do we make the city more efficient so we can work cross-platform, so people can get multiple. Because we understand that the city is going to be having so much more opportunity with Metro, with all the things. You know, LA is on the rise, and we need to fulfill our mayor's vision of a safe city, a prosperous city for all Angelinos, for all small businesses. So I think that this is a call for maybe a round 2 or a level 2, a business to business, and as we continue, I think we're going to do more and linking more businesses and helping them on their way. So thank you, Hannah.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll just say, first of all, to our participants, hearing from the three of you really helps inspire all of us to do more, and it's an inspiration for our departments. The pride and the passion that all three of you demonstrated this morning, and the excitement and just the eagerness to get busy bettering our community is contagious. So thank you all for your participation, and in advance for what you'll do in the future for the city of Los Angeles and the region. And mentioning the region too, thank you to our partners in the proprietaries with the DWP, our partners in the city departments, and indeed what will expand to other cities in Los Angeles County as well. Hannah, to the Bureau of Contract Administration for your leadership, Commissioner Repenning and Commissioner Jacinto, Commissioner Rivas. Really, it's a commitment of our board. Commissioner Davis is over in the next chamber right now for the very exciting historic presentation that's going on there, of course. But just know that you have our complete commitment and support to growing this program. You all are proof positive of the amazing results. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So the oral report will be received. Agenda item number 1, Council District 14, task order solicitation number 6, Brooks Scarpa Architects, recommending that the board authorize the city engineer to issue a revision to the project task order for solicitation number 6 to Brooks Scarpa, which authorizes the substitution of subconsultant Innovative Engineering Group with Gussman and Moore Associates Incorporated to provide architectural design and related consulting services for the Engine Company number 23 Arts Center project. Rebecca Abano. Good morning.
Good morning, President James, Bureau heads and board commissioners. Rebecca Abano with the Bureau of Engineering. I'm up here requesting to approve the substitution of the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing subconsultant for Brooks plus Scarpa with replacing IEG with Gussman and Moore. Let me give you a little background of the project. Engine Company number 23, Arts Center, is what we're doing is we're remodeling, rehabbing a decommissioned fire station here in downtown. The fire station is located at 5th and Wall Streets. And we've hired Brooks plus Scarpa to be the design architects for the project. And they have requested to substitute. Why this is a little complicated issue is IEG is a minority subconsultant to Brooks Scarpa, and they are wanting to substitute with Gussman and Moore, who is a non-minority contractor, a subconsultant. Their original pledged participation for minority was 17%. With the substitution, it reduces it down to 5% minority participation. Brooks plus Scarpa had made some outreach efforts to another minority subconsultant to do the same work, but that minority subconsultant would like an additional $8,320 more than Gussman and Moore. Gussman and Moore was accepting the same fees as IEG, but Donald Dickerson, another minority subconsultant, wants more money to do the same work. This is specialized work because engine company number 23 is a historic building, so you need a mechanical, electrical, and plumbing subconsultant that understands and has experience with historic buildings. Any questions?
Commissioner Penning and then Commissioner Cento.
The prime on this project, Brooks plus Scarpa, is a certified woman-owned business.
Yes, ma'am.
So one of the things we've been talking about is the fact that our prime, when we're able to contract with a prime who's a WBE or an SBE or an MBE, those numbers aren't reflected in what we see, but nonetheless, it's an important thing to note, and so I think that should be part of the conversation here. The amount listed on the TOS for IEG is a little over $1,000.
Well, because we've started the design work and we've already paid IEG a portion for the work they've completed. So we still count them in the subconsultant list. And partway through the project.
Okay, I see. All righty. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Penning. Commissioner Cento.
Thank you. Rebecca, just for the record, can you state again why the substitution was made by the prime for the first one, please?
On another project, Brooks plus Scarpa has IEG as a consultant, and it's not a public works, or I don't believe it's a city project, and they had issues with project delivery. So in looking ahead on our project, they decided to do this substitution so they won't have the same issues they had with IEG on a different project.
Okay. So it was a preventative measure due to...
It's a preventative measure. They're looking out after our...
Understood. Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Commissioner Cento, I don't have any questions. Commissioner Cento's made a motion that we adopt agenda item number 1. Seconded by Commissioner Repenning. Any objection? With that objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 1. Any issue sending it forthwith? We'll send number 1 forthwith. Thank you, Rebecca. Agenda item number 2. Task for solicitation number EMGD 009, ICF Jones and Stokes Incorporated, in Council District 11, recommending that the board authorize the city engineer to issue a revision of the task for solicitation to ICF Jones and Stokes Incorporated, increasing the budget authority from $366,348 to $529,000 for environmental documentation and permitting services for the Venice Auxiliary Pumping Plant Environmental Impact Report. Jan Green-Rebstock, good morning.
Hi, actually, it's Eileen Schutzo.
Oh, hi.
Good morning, Honorable Commissioners. I'm Eileen Schutzo, an environmental supervisor with the Bureau of Engineering's Environmental Management Group. This revised task order solicitation before you today is for the proposed Venice Auxiliary Pumping Plant Project's EIR, located at 140 Hurricane Street in the community of Venice. I'm here to ask for an increase in the budget authority from $366,348 to $529,000 for environmental documentation and permitting services. The budget authority for this revised TOS is estimated to be $130,522, and this includes contingency. This revised task order solicitation is needed to address the level of effort that was required to complete the draft EIR, which was released for public and agency review on October 27, 2016. Work under this task was performed under an emergency authorization to complete this task. Going forward, funding is needed to complete the CEQA process, provide environmental permitting support services, including the preparation of permit applications for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Section 404 and the Regional Water Quality Control Board for Section 401 of the Clean Water Act, and the preparation of a habitat management mitigation monitoring plan. As far as a minority-owned business and women-owned business participation, 0% MEB participation currently, but we have 26% WEB participation for this project from ICF Jones and Stokes Incorporated. Due to the specialized nature of the task, the bulk of the work is being conducted by the prime and sub-consultants who are WEBs, Women Business Enterprise. No opportunities for MEB participation were identified as part of the scope of work. However, the contract will be in effect until October 6, 2018, with time left to increase participation levels of ICF's overall contract. ICF has indicated that they have conducted and are continuing to conduct outreach designed to identify opportunities for additional MEB, WEB, OB firms as subcontractors. The final EIR is on track to be presented to the board mid-March 2017. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Questions on agenda item number 2? I don't either. Commissioner Santos made a motion that we adopt agenda item number 2. Any objection? Any issue sending number 2 forthwith? We'll send number 2 forthwith. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 3, Bureau of Sanitation, requesting authority to increase the budget contingency and issue a change order number 59 to Honeywell International Incorporated, recommending that the board first authorize the increase of the construction budget by $600,000. That's from $13,448,495 for the Terminal Island Water Reclamation Plant segment of the Los Angeles Wastewater Control System Replacement Program. That's up to $14,048,495. And authority to issue change order number 59 to Honeywell International for the amount not to exceed the $600,000 for procurement of a distributed control system hardware, software, engineering, training, and installation assistance for Terminal Island Water Reclamation Plant aeration system replacement project. Mr. Pusti, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. President, Commissioners, Bureau Representatives. I'm Ali Pusti with the Bureau of Sanitation. I'm here today to request an increase in construction budget for the LA Winds project of $600,000 to $14,048,495, and also request to authorize us to issue a change order number 59 to Honeywell International for the distribution control systems installation and procurement for the aeration systems at Terminal Island treatment plant. As we've spoken about this in the past, on February 6, 2011, Bureau awarded the contract to Honeywell International for replacement of the entire control system systems at all treatment plants and collection system. This was to be done at 5 different segments. Hyperion treatment plant to be at 1, the Donostil Tillman, Terminal Island, Los Angeles Glendale, and also collection system. We are in February of last year, 2015, the city allowed Honeywell to start the segment, Terminal Island segment. At the same time, a few months later, this board actually awarded Terminal Island Aeration System Replacement Project. That particular project had a fixed cost allowance item of a little bit about over $800,000 for DCS and other electrical instrumentation part of it. At this time, we are, in order to meet the fast-track schedule of the aeration system project replacement and make the integration of the system with the Honeywell seamless, the DCS portion of the aeration system project will now be completed under LA Winds. And therefore, we are requesting a change order to allow LAB's contract to be increased by not to exceed $600,000 to provide services associated with this distributed control system. At the end is the net zero to the project.
Understood. And thank you for the update and kind of the progress along the way for this project. Any questions on this change order or the substantive support for it? I don't have any questions. Is there a motion on this agenda item by Commissioners Rivas and Repenning? I'll second it along with Commissioner Jacinto, so that'll be the order. Any issues sending it forthwith? We'll send it forthwith. Thank you, Ali.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Agenda item number 4, a task order solicitation number SN20 to Arcadis US Incorporated, requesting authorization for the Director of the Bureau of Sanitation or his designee to issue amendment number 1 to the existing task order solicitation to Arcadis US Incorporated for an additional $370,000, increasing the total budget authority from $140,000 to $510,000 to provide continued technical support and maintenance of the current Westinghouse distributed process Family 2 distributed control system at the Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant, while a new DCS that's a distributed control system is being installed. The amendment will extend the contract term from January 6, 2017 to June 30th, 2019. Charles Lee, good morning, sir.
Good morning, President and Commissioner and Bureau representatives. I'm Charles Lee from Bureau of Sanitation. I'm here to request the authority to existing TOS, Arcadis, to issue amendment number 1 to increase the money from $140,000 to $510,000, $370,000 additional, and also extend from January 6, 2017 to June 30, 2019. The existing TOS basically cover 4 service. Number 1 is 24/7 telephone support, on-site support, and also the decommissioning of the Westinghouse distributed control system to Honeywell DCS. The 4th one is the procured parts. For the past years, we have a tremendous problem of the existing DCS because the system itself is 1985 technology. So
85?
Yeah. So basically, we have a handful expertise in the United States. So they come out, actually, we request them to provide MBE, WBE, so on and so forth, and they cannot find adequate, appropriate experience and the expertise there. And also the parts, they are no longer produce new parts, so we have to buy the refurbished parts from the third party. And when you're using the refurbished parts, always you do not guarantee how good it is, the quality it is. So it makes us tremendous difficulty to troubleshoot the system itself. Anyway, so that's why we need the existing and limited resources from Arcadis through, to get to maintain the system. That's why we are here to ask for the authority to extend from January 2017 to 2019 and also additional money.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. Commissioner Jacinto.
Thank you. Mr. Lee, because Arcadis has been on the project already,
yes,
I'm assuming that the rationale is to have them continue for another 2.5 years to complete the project.
I hope less than that. We just prepare to the worst case is 2019. We hope we will finish 2018.
Very good. Thank you.
Anything else? I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 4. Any objection? Is there a second? Yeah, well, we'll get there. We'll pick one since we don't have an objection. It'll be Commissioner Jacinto. Any objection? With that objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 4. Any
Thank you
issue
very
sending it
much.
forthwith? Thank you, sir. We'll send it forthwith. Agenda item number 5 in Council District 4 from the Bureau of Street Services requested tree removal for 2901 Waverly Drive, recommending that the board first certify that the board has reviewed and considered the information in the mitigated negative declaration for the project at 2901 West Waverly Drive and find that the information contained therein appropriately addresses the requested tree removals. Second, find that the project will not have a significant environmental effect under the above described MND, as the imposition of the mitigation measures described in the MND and incorporated herein as project conditions, such that there is no substantial evidence the proposed project will have a significant effect on the environment pursuant to the city's environmental guidelines and is in compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act. Third, find the project's conflict with any local policies or ordinances protecting biological resources, such as tree preservation policies or ordinances, is less than significant with the incorporation of mitigation measures 4-70 or 80 as contained in the MND. Number 4, adopt the mitigated negative declaration. Number 5, specify that the Bureau of Street Services Urban Forestry Division, located at 1149 South Broadway, is custodian of the documents or of the material that constitute the record of proceedings upon which the board's decision is based. And 6, approve the request for a fee tree removal permit for 1 Valley Oak tree and 2 California black walnut trees. Tree replacements are required. Mr. Tyson, sir, welcome back. It is great to see you today.
It's good to see everyone as well. So good morning, President James, commissioners, bureau representatives, executive officer, and the city attorney. I'd like to read a lot of this into the record, as a lot of it needs to be recorded as far as bonding of the trees and such. So bear with me. Serco Cachadorian, property owner, contacted the Bureau regarding the proposed construction of 9 single-family lots at 2901 West Waverly Drive. The property is approximately 20,277 square feet in a residential community of Silver Lake located in the city of Los Angeles. The site is fairly level terrain with an area of steep slope at the rear of the lot. The proposed project consists of 9 small single-family dwellings ranging between 1,751 square feet and 2,405 square feet. And each dwelling will include a 2-car garage. The proposed project anticipates the removal of trees protected by the city of Los Angeles. Therefore, Mr. Cachadorian was directed to obtain the services of a LAMC-defined tree expert to evaluate the project. Mr. Cachadorian acquired the services of Mr. Kerry Norman, registered consulting arborist, to provide an assessment of the property and to address the proposed project impact to the protected trees. Mr. Norman inspected the property and found 1 Valley Oak tree with 2 stems measuring approximately 16 inches in diameter by 30 feet in height, and 2 California black walnut trees measuring approximately 5 to 7 inches in diameter by 25 feet in height. The trees are located in the footprint of the proposed construction of the 9 single-family dwellings. The trees are in fair health and vigor. A Bureau arborist inspected the location on April 28, 2016 to verify the contents of the protected tree report. The Bureau agrees reasonable development of the property will require the removal of the 3 trees as noted in the protected tree report. Department of City Planning prepared a mitigated negative declaration, case number environmental 2014-253, mitigated negative declaration. In conclusion, Alice Roth, Deputy District Director of the 4th Council District, was informed of the pending tree removal request on January 10, 2016. The applicant, upon issuance of the protected tree removal permit, if granted, the Bureau shall be notified a minimum of 10 days prior to the day of the protected trees removal shall occur. The applicant's tree expert shall be on site the day of the tree removals to ensure proper trees are removed. A Bureau arborist will arrange an on-site meeting with the applicant or their tree expert the day following the protected tree removal. The applicant, in conjunction with the project's landscape architect or tree expert, shall also be responsible to ensure the tree removal permits, tree replacement conditions are in compliance. The tree replacements, the tree plantings, shall follow the landscape plan to the fullest extent possible. The Bureau shall be notified later than 5 days after the completion of the tree replacements. A Bureau arborist will make arrangements to visit the site and approve the tree replacements as being in compliance with the permit conditions within 5 working days. Condition, the applicant shall plant 4 24-inch box-size valley oak, Quercus lobata trees, and 8 5-gallon California black walnut, Juglans californica trees on site to replace the 3 removed trees. The survival of all subject valley oak trees and black walnut trees shall be guaranteed for a period of 3 years by bond. The Bureau shall be notified immediately if any permit conditions have been violated or cannot be fulfilled. So, due to the fact they have to take 3 feet of the rear slope down, which is where the oak tree is located, and they have to do minor grading on the property, the other 2 walnut trees and the oak tree will require removal. Thus, I'm asking the board to approve the request.
And I'll just note that the applicant, Mr. Cacciadorian, is here if we have any questions for him. Any questions for Mr. Tyson? Thank you, Mr. Tyson, for the report. I don't have any questions regarding these 3 trees either. I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 5. Is there a second? By Commissioner Repenning. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 5. Any issues sending number 5 forthwith? We'll send number 5 forthwith. Thank you, sir. I anticipate that I'm going to see you soon on agenda item number 6 in Council Districts 9 and 14. A tree removal for the Figueroa Street from 8th Street to 41st Street and 11th Street from Broadway to Figueroa Street. Several trees. This is related to the MyFig Figueroa Streetscape Improvement Project. Recommending that the board first consider the final environmental impact report. That's ENV 2012-1470-EIR. State Clearinghouse, the numbers in the agenda, for the Figueroa Streetscape Project prior to making a decision on the proposed tree removal permit. Find under the California Public Resources Code, section 15091, that changes or alterations have been required in or incorporated into the project, which or substantially lessen the significant environmental effects as identified in the final environmental impact statement and the final environmental impact report. Furthermore, find that there is no feasible alternative or additional feasible mitigation measures within the board's powers that would substantially lessen or avoid any of the significant effects that the project would have on the environment. Fourth, specify that the Urban Forestry Division of the Bureau of Street Services, located at 1149 South Broadway, is custodian of the documents or other material that constitute the record of the proceedings upon which the board's decision is based. And finally, review and approve the permit request for the removal of 107 trees, street trees, for the MyFig Figueroa Streetscape Improvement Project in both of these council districts. Tree replacements are required. Mr. Tyson, on your summary of agenda item number 6. And you'll confirm that the EIR covers the specific trees that are sought for removal.
I will.
Go ahead.
The Los Angeles Department of Transportation, in collaboration with other city departments, are going to construct various streetscape improvements along Figueroa Street between West 8th Street and West 41st Street and 11th Street from South Figueroa Street to Broadway. The project known as MyFig. The project involves infrastructure improvements along Figueroa Street and 11th Street corridors that include the installation of protected and buffered on-street bicycle lanes with new traffic signalization, bus stop platforms, pedestrian and cyclist-oriented wayfinding signage, street trees, high-visibility continental crosswalks, transit furniture, public art, and the repair of defective sidewalks. The project is intended to improve user safety as well as provide residents, workers, and visitors with enhanced walking, biking, and transit while providing a more amicable environment. The project contractor commenced work and started to remove trees without the proper tree removal permit. Bureau of Street Services, Urban Forestry Division staff found that out and stopped the contractor on or around November 11th. The contractor was informed by the Bureau that there was no permit issued for the project. The project contractor removed 29 trees on 11th Street from Fig Street to Broadway. Tree removal work was halted. An LA Department of Transportation was contacted. Apparently, the project contractor misinterpreted the approved plans and assumed the plans as a permit to remove the trees.
They assumed that the plans included the permit, correct?
Correct.
Right. They didn't know about the additional step. Yeah.
Right, and so we stopped them, and we're here today to get this hopefully approved for this large project, which is very large.
And I'll just state for the record that a representative from the Department of Transportation is here as well, but go ahead.
Okay, all right, thank you. Had Hami, Division Manager, LADOT, contacted the Bureau regarding the MyFib project to address the project's tree removals and secure the necessary tree removal permit. A Bureau arborist inspected the subject location on November 22nd, 2016 to determine the project's impact to the existing street trees. The various tree species to be removed on this project are king palm, Indian laurel fig, African fern pine, Canary Island pine, California fan palm, London plane, jacaranda, queen palm, Chinese flame, evergreen pear, and some bottle brush trees. The trees are in fair condition and growing in 4-foot tree wells and 6-foot center medians. Center median is in the middle of the street. The trees are in fair condition and growing in 4-foot tree wells and 6-foot center medians. I repeat that, sorry. The trees range in size from approximately 10 to 18 inches in diameter by 15 to 40 feet in height. Notice of the proposed tree removals were physically posted on all the trees, each and every one, on November 22nd, 2016. Proposed tree removals were included in the Bureau of Street Services tree removal notification system, as well as the Community Forest Advisory Committee was notified of the pending application for the tree removals. The Los Angeles Department of Transportation contractor shall plant 214 36-inch box trees to replace the removed trees at the end of the project, or as they progress through the project. At each section that they finish, they will plant the trees and get them in the ground. As per in the environmental impact report, and the actual project is 4.5 miles of roadway, so it's quite large. And in the environmental impact report, it states that they would like them to plant 36-inch box trees. That's why we're having them plant the larger tree species, which will help get the canopy sizes more close to the ones that are being removed, other than some of the ficus trees, which are old trees, and they're quite large, and some of the jacarandas and the Canary Island pines. But as far as the impact report, it's all in here under cultural resources, air quality. It's a 5-year implementation plan for the bicycle plan as well. Let's see it. Agricultural and forest, no impact as long as mitigation measures are provided, which with the 36-inch box trees, which is 2 to 1, they will mitigate the losses of the trees by replacing them with 36-inch box.
And just for the record, as well, in case you didn't already say it, Mr. Tyson, both council offices, CD9 and CD14, were made aware of the tree removals in the hearing today, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
We contacted, the Bureau contacted,
It's in the board report.
yes,
Yeah, I just wanted the oral report to state.
I thought I had stated that, I'm sorry.
You may have.
James Westbrook, District Director, actually I didn't. James Westbrook, the District Director, Council District 9, and Nate Hayward, Public Works Director, Council 14, were informed of the tree removal request on January 3rd, 2017.
Thank you. Commissioner Repenning.
You mentioned this, but I just wanted to, again, for the record, clarify that the full number of trees was cleared in the environmental impact report for the project.
Yeah, I might need to take a minute to go through it over here. I do believe I saw it earlier. Here it says, Addendum to the environmental impact. This is what I was looking for. There will be 107 total trees removed as a result of the project. That includes 60 trees along Figueroa and 47 trees along 11th Street. Sorry, I wasn't as prepared as I had hoped. But it's all listed in here.
You got there quickly, Mr. Tyson.
So that was, I guess, I was looking at that same document, the addendum, and I guess I was wondering, is the addendum needed because the number of trees was not
Initially,
part of the
correct,
EIR?
correct. Something was amiss in the original, and so therefore, we requested that an addendum be done to place the trees in the, because the only thing it talks about in the addendum is the trees. So they need to be included in the project scope for the environmental impact. And so therefore, the addendum includes them into the original environmental impact report.
Okay, and I assume appropriate notification of this hearing has been posted throughout the affected area.
Well, appropriate, I'm sorry.
Notification of the hearing today's hearing?
As far as I know, we had
haven't
it
heard
on the
any-
Bureau of Street Services tree removal notification system. The council offices were notified, and I
Okay.
would have thought maybe somebody might have showed up, but
Okay, and then the trees, the new trees will be watered by the bid, I saw.
yes.
Okay, for 3 years. Good to see you back, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I don't have any other questions. Give me 1 second, Mr. Tyson.
Sure.
Okay. Tree posting date was November 22nd, 2016.
Correct.
All right.
And the replacement tree shall be watered by Los Angeles Department of Transportation contractor in collaboration with the local business improvement district for a minimum of 3 years.
All right, thank you. Then I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 6. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Repenning. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 6. Any issue sending it forthwith? We'll send number 6 forthwith. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 7. From the Office of Community Beautification, Mr. Roch, Council District 14, encroachment in the public right-of-way to Malaya Johnston Avrich, recommending that the board authorize the Office of Community Beautification to grant revocable permission to encroach within the public right-of-way subject to listed conditions to Malaya Johnston Avrich, an artist, for the installation of mural artwork on the front face of the steps of a public staircase located adjacent to 1327 Neola Street and to the rear of Rockdale Elementary School in the Eagle Rock District of Los Angeles and Council District 14. The project is part of the Great Stairs Project. Secondly, authorize the city engineer to issue a no-fee revocable permit for the work to be performed. Third, authorize the city engineer to issue a no-fee A permit for work to be performed. And fourth, authorize OCB to request the Bureau of Contract Administration to provide a no-fee inspection of the project. Mr. Roch on number 7.
Good morning. Paul Roch, Director of the Office of Community Beautification. And as read by President James, we are requesting board approval to officially accept this project as part of the Adopt a Median, Adopt a Public Area program through the Office of Community Beautification. This volunteer project is the creation and the placement of a mural on the front portion of the stairways, not the portion that somebody would actually step on, but the front-facing part of the stairs. And we'll begin the beautification process of an area directly next to the playground of a local elementary school in the community of Eagle Rock. This mural project, which is spearheaded by a local artist, is a part of this new program called the Great Stairs Project. It's been approved by both the City of Los Angeles Cultural Affairs Commission and the Public Arts Committee. The Great Stairs Project will be seeking to improve and beautify several of the public stairways around the City of Los Angeles. Bureau of Engineering has reviewed and approved the plans. The Office of Councilmember Jose Huizar is also aware of the project and has provided a letter of support for this particular project. And at this point, all we lastly require is approval of the Board of Public Works in order to secure a permit and for work to begin.
Questions on agenda item number 7, Commissioner Jacinto?
Thank you, Paul. This is great. Is the artist present today? No?
No, I don't believe so, no.
Did you say that she's volunteering?
Yeah, this is a volunteer project, right. She's not being paid by any particular organization or anything like that. This has become a sort of a need that she saw to improve some of the public staircases around the city, and she's going and starting this Great Stairs program.
Well, cheers to that, and citizens wanting to beautify their
Right.
neighborhoods. We have a Great Stairs program for the city, Paul? So people walk up all these different stairs.
Yeah, there's several
stair tour?
staircases. This is the first one that I'm aware of that this particular project is going to be working on. If you've seen the pictures, it's immediately adjacent to a playground where the students look at it, every day. Plans are not only to, once the stair beautification is in, but also to work on some planting and beautification of the slope next to the stairs, which right now is just basically bare dirt as well. So.
Excellent. This is great. Thank you, Paul.
Anything further? Commissioner Rivas?
A question for Paul. Like you mentioned that she's a volunteer, but does she also start the Great Stairs Project? Is that what I understand? Or is that something that we're promoting through your office?
No. So she's actually starting
The Great Stairs.
Program, which, we will kind of be working with to help secure city review and permits and stuff like that.
Okay. Okay, so it's not something that you publicized
Right.
and requested.
It's not a program that, but we're kind of folding the permit process into, adopt a median, since the stairs are areas of public property.
Okay. Just want to be clear. That's great.
Great. Thank you, Commissioner Rivas. Anything else? Is there a motion on number 7 by Commissioner Jacinto? I'll second it. Any objection? With that objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 7. Any issue sending 7 forthwith? We'll send 7 forthwith. They can get busy. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 8, requested contract award, Bureaus of Engineering and Contract Administration in Council Districts 1 and 14. Secondary Sewer Renewal Program, P17 Cypress Avenue and Division Street, recommending that the board declare MNR Construction Incorporated the first low bidder to be the lowest responsible bidder, and award them a contract for the project for $5,446,227. Secondly, authorize myself or 2 members of the board to execute the contract after approval as to form has been obtained by the city attorney. Mr. Irvine, you have assistance today, I see.
Yes, I do. Good morning. My name is Doug Irvin with the Bureau of Engineering. I was the old project manager on this particular project, and I have a new project manager, Mr. Jin Win here. And so I'm going to let Mr. Jin Win do his first presentation to the board here.
Good
Welcome,
morning.
sir.
Good morning. My name is Jin Wen from Bureau of Engineering, Wastewater Conveyance Engineering Division. We're here to request to award a contract for the Secondary Sewer Renewal Program, SSRP P17, Cypress Avenue and Division Street, work order ZC 12536. This project is located in Council number 1 and 14. The project will remove and replace or rehabilitate approximately 4.19 miles of 6-inch, 8-inch, 10-inch, and 12-inch sewer lines. The project is bounded by Eagle Rock Boulevard, Figueroa Street, San Fernando Road, and Yoke Boulevard. The city engineer estimate is $4,878,500. The contract duration is 345 calendar day. We received 4 bids on November 16, 2016. MNR Construction Inc. MNR was the first lower bidder with the bid amount of $5,446,227. Based on the range of the bids submitted, we believe this bid is reasonable. We have also verified all other bidding requirements. MNR is a certified local business enterprise. They have conduct due diligence and good faith effort subcontracting outreach. They pledge other business enterprise anticipation of 30.2% and 0.6% for minority business, small business, and emerging business. That's for the numbers. We have verified and determined that the MNR has compliant with the business inclusion program requirements. MNR also pledged the mandatory subcontracting minimum of 31.86%, which is higher than the required 25% minimum. This project also incorporates a project labor agreement. In review of about funding, we recommend that the board declare MNR first lower bidder to be the lowest responsible bidder and award them the contract for this project. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any questions on agenda item number 8? Mr. Commissioner Jacinto.
Thank you, President James. I have a question regarding the past trends, and congratulations, Doug, both of you, and Jen, for handling this SSRP, the Secondary Sewer Renewal Program. Are the bids continually, or have they in the recent past remain higher than the city estimate?
It seems like the market is going higher right now, particularly for this project. We have a lot of dark reaches, which is difficult access reaches. That's why the unit price is bid a lot higher than we anticipate. So that's
okay. But generally, the contractors are coming in at higher prices than our estimate.
That's correct.
So that would kind of, at some point, we're going to have to see, do we rethink our city estimates?
We are updating the unit price biannually, I believe.
When would that be, sir? When do you think we'll be done with that?
Staff is right now in the process of looking at the latest bids from September to December and incorporating that into a spreadsheet so then we can come up with it. So maybe, and this is just a guesstimate on my part, that maybe by the end of February, beginning of March, we may have a proposal for the revised city engineer cost estimates.
Great. Look forward to it. Thank you.
So because of that, as you mentioned, you're not concerned about it's a little north of 10% above the city estimate, but because of what you just described, that's not a concern for you.
That is correct.
Okay.
And we obtained approval from the Bureau of Sanitation in regards to that increase of more than 10%.
Yeah, got to make sure the funding's there. All right, any other questions on agenda item number 8? Commissioner Sintes made a motion that we adopt agenda item number 8. Seconded by Commissioner Repenning. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 8. Any issue sending 8 forthwith? We will send 8 forthwith. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 9, Bureaus of Engineering and Contract Administration, Council Districts 9 and 14. They're partnering on a few things today. Contract award, North Outfall Sewer Rehabilitation Unit number 6, Hooper to Wilson, and Unit 7, Wilson to Los Angeles River. First, find transmittal numbers 1 and 2 to be unmerited. Second, declare JR Pipeline Company Incorporated the apparent second low bidder to be the lowest responsible bidder, after the local business preference percentage is applied, and award JR Pipeline a contract for the project for $17,245,196. And third, authorize myself or two members of the board to execute the contract after approval as to form has been obtained by the city attorney, Mr. Arrington. And I see that Ms. McGlinchey is here as well if we have questions. And she may have some to add to the presentation as well. Go ahead, sir.
Correct. Good morning. My name is Edward Arrington. I'm Senior Civil Engineer with the Bureau of Engineering. And as indicated, the item before you is a request for award of the North Alpha Sewer Rehabilitation Project, Unit 6 and Unit 7. In summary, these projects are located just southeast of downtown area near the LA River. Unit 6 will rehabilitate approximately 5,200 feet of a 66-inch and a 60-inch semi-elliptical existing sewer, as well as Unit 7, which will rehabilitate about 3,200 feet of a 60-inch semi-elliptical sewer. Together, these two units will encompass rehabilitation of about 8,400 feet of a 90-year-old sewer that is in dire need of this type of work. In preparation for this project, staff did reach out to any potentially impacted businesses, and we coordinated with them to ensure that they experienced minimum to no disturbance or impact. In addition, staff reached out to representatives of Council District 9 as well as Council District 14 to ensure that they were aware of the scope and direction of the project. The project does encroach on Caltrans and Union Pacific Railroad property, and we have identified the appropriate coordination efforts and requirements in the contract to ensure that any issues and or permits are taken care of. In addition to that, the project has been reviewed for environmental considerations and found to be categorically exempt. Lastly, in regards to bids received, the lowest two bidders have complied with the Business Inclusion Program outreach requirements and have complied with the mandatory subcontracting minimum requirements of 25%. However, in consideration for the Local Business Preference Program, when applied to JR Pipeline Company Incorporated, that company or that particular contractor is then identified as the lowest responsible bidder. In addition to this, as indicated in the report, there were some protests filed, and I will ask a representative from Council Administration to address those items. Linda?
Good morning, Linda McGlinchey, Bureau of Contract Administration. So as was mentioned, we have JR Pipeline, who is the apparent low bidder after the local business preference is applied. And just as a notation, with the bid amounts, the difference between the first and second low bidder is a matter of about $80,000 on this $17+ million contract.
So they're really close, not surprising to see a protest, but go ahead.
Okay, so we did receive protests prior to preparing this board report. Essentially, the protest said that JR Pipeline is not registered with the Department of Industrial Relations per SB 854. Staff, however, confirmed that they were in fact registered as is required. Another part of the protest was that they're not entitled to the local business.
Ms. McGlinchey, let's go back to number one real quick. On the issue about their registration. So you were able to confirm, the Bureau was able to confirm, in fact, they were registered appropriately for the purposes of the Bureau of Contract Administration.
Yes. What it was, we believe it's the way the protester performed the search on the DIR's website that they did not find the company. When we performed the search, we had no problem finding the company. We printed the confirmation that they are in fact registered.
Okay, go ahead.
Secondly, they said that JR Pipeline's not entitled to the LBP percentage of 8% because they're not headquartered in LA County. One, they did not qualify as an LBE based on being headquartered in LA County. They qualified based on workforce. We performed the certification. We have no issue with deeming them a local business.
And that is a category upon which they can obtain the local business preference, correct?
That is one of the criteria for obtaining the local business preference.
And it doesn't have to be an and, it can be an or.
Correct.
Okay, go ahead.
Correct. So that's why we do not find that merited response or protest, sorry. They also said that JR Pipeline failed to meet the MSM requirement for this project because their listed subcontractor, AmeriCorps International, Inc., is a broker. Simply put, we did notice an issue with their listing of AmeriCorps. However,
Their listing, you mean JR Pipelines?
JR Pipeline,
Okay,
sorry,
go ahead.
yes. However, when we looked at the sub-bid submitted as part of the business inclusion program requirements, it was clear that the sub-bid had the letterhead of both AmeriCorps and Channel Line, which is the manufacturer for this product. There's also a clear note on that sub-bid that says, list Channel Line in your proposal. They put the dollar amount of what is in fact Channel Line's sub-bid in their proposal. They just erroneously listed AmeriCorps. We did contact Mr. Jordan regarding this issue. Also, what I've handed you is one of the papers I handed you. I believe it's the second one, is previous correspondence with Channel Line International, in which they clearly stated that AmeriCorps is only authorized to submit quotations with prior instructions from Channel Line. They are not authorized to sign contracts or enter into any contract directly with the client or contractors. All commercial, legal contracts or agreements will be signed between Channel Line and the main contractor. So, and that was back in 2014, which really substantiates the fact that AmeriCorps was simply acting as their agent, not a broker. For our intents and purposes, a broker would be signing the contract and then would then contact the manufacturer and have the product shipped to the prime.
So to the Bureau of Contract Administration, that substantiates what JR Pipeline is saying and flies in the face of the Spinello counsel's argument.
Correct.
Okay, go ahead.
Correct. And then the last thing, with regards to that, they stated that JR Pipeline lacks the experience and capacity to install the slip lining. And Bureau of Engineering has responded that there is no pre-qualification requirement on this contract. The contractor possesses the necessary license to perform the work. They in fact, do have some other projects along these same lines. My understanding as well is that protests, there was another document submitted to you last week. I've looked at that, and that is also why I've provided you with those 3 pages today. One of the issues raised by counsel for the protester was the Valley Crest landscape case, stating that they couldn't change the bid proposal.
Right.
In this case, we don't believe that they are changing the bid proposal. We're not allowing them to change the dollar amount. And specifically, what council didn't bring up in that Valley Crest case, which is why I gave you the first 2 pages and it summarizes the case, is that in that instance, the low bidder failed to meet the contractor's participation percentage. Their bid documents required them to list subcontracting percentages, not dollar amounts like ours. What happened was when they got a protest, the city contacted the contractor. Contractor explained that the percentages were incorrect and gave them new percentages, which they then accepted, which was a material change to their bid proposal. The city accepted that and then let them go forward. We're not allowing JR Pipeline to make any change to the dollar value. It's merely a matter of how we are crediting, whether it be a broker, supplier, or manufacturer. In this case, as we've stated in the board report, as well as you can see from email from Channel Line from 3 years back, clearly AmeriCorps is more acting as an agent of Channel Line, for which Channel Line will sign that contract. Channel Line is one of 2 approved manufacturers for this product that's called out in the bid proposal documents. So therefore, JR Pipeline, it's not like they could really go other than the other manufacturer. They had to go with them, and the contract will be signed with the Channel Line. The 2 other items that were mentioned in the document submitted last week. One was the comment that Spiniello has submitted their local business preference affidavit, or LBE affidavit, which is true. We have not thoroughly evaluated it, but I have provided you with a copy of the affidavit that they submitted, in which you'll note that they listed their reason for qualifying as being headquartered in Los Angeles County. Headquartered means that the business physically conducts and manages all of its operations from a location in the county. You'll notice, though, that there are a couple of other pages attached to that. That is directly from Spiniello's website. The first one notes for contacting them. There's a form, but what you should really note is that it shows their address as being in Livingston, New Jersey. The second page lists Spiniello's 4 locations. 2 of them, where it's simply listed as Spiniello, are also New Jersey locations. The other 2, Western region, is in Pomona, California. So based on that, on its face, it does not appear that they are headquartered. We will obviously give them the opportunity to prove otherwise, but our initial look, it does not appear that we would be granting them LBE status based on headquarters.
Ms. McGlynn, go ahead.
Sorry. Lastly, the council also brought up with regards to participation, although we do not award contracts based on MBE, WBE participation, as Commissioner Reppening noted earlier. This morning, it is nice to see in the case of JR Pipeline, they are in fact an SBE and an MBE. So while their subcontractor participation isn't high with regards to MBE, SBE, EBE, etc., they in fact, this contract with them, we're looking at about 62% MBE participation and 65% SBE participation.
One issue that you raised, and Ms. McGlinchey, I think thank you for the work that you've done on the research and responding for us on the protest. I've read the record that was provided, and I don't see anything that you missed. The only question I have, and really I think it's more of a statement, but I would like for you to confirm it. We work a bit, I think you referenced it already, we work a bit with Spinello and with JR Pipeline. And this claim about, they're not experienced, one, you indicated that there are no specific requirements from BOE regarding that aspect of the project. That said, what was more influential with me is the fact that you said that JR Pipeline has other projects on this line as well. True?
Well, in general, JR Pipeline has done a significant amount of work for the city of LA on the lower NOS, which is the same sewer, just at the lower portion of it near Hyperion. They did a substantial amount of that rehabilitation work for the city of LA, and we had no issues with that aspect of their work. And they've continued on to some other of our major sewers, such as the Central Awful Sewer, in which they've also done a significant amount of work, and we have not had any issues and found them to be acceptable. So in terms of our experience with this particular contractor, we find that we're able to work with them successfully and deliver the job as required.
Okay. Any questions? We have two speaker cards, both representatives of, I would note that I have Ms. Kamine's submittals that Ms. McGlinchey went through, submitted for the record. We have representatives for JR Pipeline, Attorney Andrew, looks like Muzi, and Lance Strackner from JR Pipeline. I don't know if either of you want to speak, or you just are here if we have questions.
We're just here, Mr. President, if there are any questions.
Okay. Any questions from Ms. McGlinchey or for the representatives from JR Pipeline? Commissioner Rivas.
I have a question about Spinello, right? Their LBE. They submitted this after?
Yes.
The
Yes,
process?
they submitted their affidavit in November.
Okay, so, but if they would have already been certified, they probably would have been the lowest bidder, right? Because both of them would have been.
If they had been certified, but as I said, just looking at it right now, based on my experience, we will more than likely be denying them certification, at least based on being headquartered.
Yes, but our requirements are that at the time that they submit.
At the time, the requirement is at the time the bid is submitted, you must either be LBE certified or at least have submitted the affidavit, and it must then be verified and you get certified after the fact. But we would more or less backdate the certification to the date you submitted so that you're not harmed by our lack of staffing to process it.
Oh, I see. Okay, so if you had thought that, or based on your research, if they seem to have been headquartered or you had verified, then this would have applied? We could have applied the 8%?
Not in this case. They submitted their affidavit 4 months after the bid opening.
That was my question. Okay. But so even in that case, you wouldn't go back, right?
Correct.
To apply the LBE.
Correct.
Percentage. Okay.
Okay. Commissioner Repenning.
On the face of it, I think that this looks like a good application of our LBE preference. I think that, the additional project cost, the second bidder over the first, is not a great difference, first of all, and the fact that we are able to contract with a company that is based here and that actually is a minority-owned small business, I think is a good impact on our local economy. Spinello, I mean, we do a lot of work with them, so I'm sure we'll work with them again soon. I think on this contract, to me, it feels like this is kind of what our local business preference, the exact type of case in which we should be exercising it.
I would agree. Anything else, colleagues? Anything, anybody? Okay. Commissioner Penning, I'll take that as a motion. I'll second it. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 9. Any issue sending it forthwith? We'll send number 9 forthwith. Thank you all. Thank you for the work. Agenda item number 10. Council Districts 8, 9, 10, 13, and 15, construction order for PPC Construction Incorporated, recommending that the board authorize the Bureau of Engineering to issue a construction order for the sidewalk repair program Package number 32 project to PPC Construction Incorporated in the amount of $1,558,857.50 with a not-to-exceed limit of $1,870,629. Alice Kim on number 10. Good morning.
Morning. Good morning. I'm Alice Kim with the Bureau of Engineering, the Sidewalk Repair Program. President James, if you don't mind, if I combine items number 10 and 11 for package number 32 and 33.
Yeah, but let me put the numbers in the record.
Okay.
Agenda item number 11 in Council Districts 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 10, recommending that the Board authorize the Bureau of Engineering to issue a construction order for the Sidewalk Repair Program, Package 33. Project of PPC Construction Incorporated, same company, in the amount of $1,456,783 with a not-to-exceed limit of $1,748,139.60. Ms. Kim on numbers 10 and 11.
Thank you. I am here to request the board to authorize the issuance of 2 construction orders for packages 32 and 33 for a sidewalk repair program to repair a total of 34 sites at city facilities, including libraries, recreation centers, and fire stations. Now, these were prioritized based on council offices, and based on those in the highest needs and repairs. For this fiscal year 2016-2017 budget, the sidewalk repair program was allocated $31 million in response to the Willits versus City of Los Angeles settlement agreement. Due to the importance of this agreement, we received authorization from Commissioner Jacinto to use the emergency pre-qualified on-call contractor to the geotechnical and structural contractor list to bid packages 32 and 33. On November 17th, 2016, bids were solicited to the 7 pre-qualified contractors. Subsequently, on December 6th, 5 contractors out of the 7 from the list, we received bids for each package, and coincidentally, the lowest bidders for the 2 packages was from PPC Construction Corporation. The following day, on December 7th, we received a bid protest received from John S. Meeks Company Incorporated for package 32, which they have submitted a total amount of $31,605,087. The basis of the protest was due to a typographical error on a unit cost, and they would like to be reevaluated and correct the error. But BOE views bids in terms of unit costs and holds contractors to the submitted values. And Meeks was notified about this instance. I'm sorry, I didn't run the numbers. I just received the information that the values were corrected, so I apologize that I will get back to you on the numbers. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. $32. Okay. Okay. For the funding status, on January 18th, the Council File 14-0163 S13, initiated by Council District 2 and 15, was adopted to transfer appropriations with the Sidewalk Repair Fund. And the funds has been transferred just recently on January 25th. And The reallocation of funds includes transferring soft costs from fiscal year 15-16 from the Bureau of Street Services, Bureau of Engineering, and Bureau of Contract Administration. Also, the reallocation includes fiscal year 16-17 funds for reallocating resources through technology, the environmental impact report, and the rebate program. So the intent is to utilize the unexpended funds from the appropriations to transfer money, to transfer them into constructional services, to lay concrete on the floor. So in order to do that, we just want to make sure that we meet our commitment for the Willits settlement to expend $31 million within this fiscal year. So in conclusion, it is our recommendation to issue construction orders for package 33 at an amount of $1,456,783 with a not exceed amount of $1,748,139.60 to PPC Construction. Correct. I apologize. I understand.
So, right, no, let's vamp here a little bit. And, the expenditures and getting to be able to spend the significant amount of money that we need for the Willits settlement and our Safe Sidewalk program is important. So these packages, we got to keep them moving and rolling in terms of we're at city facilities, but now we're going to be going in other packages out to more residential areas, correct, Alice?
That's correct. Yes, we are addressing the access request program.
How are we doing on that?
We are moving forward. Bureau of Street Services has been facilitating the construction for us.
And there's a high demand through the city system I3LA11.
Yes, through 311 and also people calling in through to the Department of Disability.
Great. Thank you, Alice.
I am, and I actually have the bid in my hand. But isn't the recommendation here to award the contract to PPC and, yeah, and to not let Meek? Okay.
If Meek doesn't get the revision, then their bid is, am I?
Can I stay? Yeah, thank you.
One thing.
On the first page of the motion, the last paragraph, where it says, their intended unit price for bid item number 4 was $450, but was transcribed in their scheduled work and prices as $450. So they intended to have it, to list at $4.50, but in their application, in their bid, it was listed as $450. Is that the issue?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so therefore they overstated their unit price, and so therefore, what I heard from Alice is that we are not allowing them to change their unit price, so they had a higher amount. But if they used $4.50, it would have been lower.
Commissioner Jacinto, to respond to your question, Fernando Campos, Executive Officer, the bid that we are showing President James right now does indicate the unit price as $450. However, the total amount, when you multiply it out by the square footage, is correctly stated on the bid at $305,000. If we had taken the 450 times the square footage, it would come out to about $30,517,000. However, the total aggregate amount, when you multiply it out, does include $305,000 in the subtotal.
Okay, so that's all fine. I'm sorry I'm having difficulty today, but could you tell me why we're spending $170,000 more going from Meek to PPC? Can anybody tell me that one?
Well, maybe I'll take a stab at it.
Okay.
What you have before you is the bid sheet. The bid sheet has a quantity, which is, in this case, I think a square footage. It has a unit price, and then it has a total. The total is supposed to be the multiplying out the quantity times the unit price. Our bid rules state if there is a discrepancy, if you've done that multiplication wrong, we will assume the number that you wrote down correct was the unit price, and then we will do the multiplication and come up with a new total. In this case, what Meek is saying is they wrote the correct total, they miswrote the unit price. But our rules say when there's a discrepancy, it's the unit price that controls, not the total. Meek, in effect, was saying that we should use their total and not the unit price, in which case their unit price was 100 times what they had intended it to be. Does that does that make sense?
Well, the way you explained it, it makes sense.
Yeah, but I'm still trying to figure out why why we're spending $170,000 more.
Because of the rule.
Because our rules state that when there's a discrepancy,
we got to throw it out.
No, it means we will correct your math.
Yes.
And the way we correct your math is we will
corrected their math and it made it $30 million.
We corrected their math and made it $30 million.
Yeah.
Because our rule states that we will assume you wrote the unit price correct, and we will create a new total. In which case,
I think the question is, why won't we allow them to correct their number? Is that not allowed?
well, the procedure that we have, and we tell all of the bidders up front, and I believe it's probably even written somewhere on the bid document, is if there is a discrepancy, we will treat the unit price as what you meant to do, and then we will multiply it out.
Right.
In this case,
not about the math or anything like that. About, do we allow people to correct a number that they've written down inaccurately?
Well, we
just did that on the 500, the 5 million, the 5 comma. Remember the 500 comma?
I was going to bring that up. That this situation that we have right now, in effect, the Meek would ask, although they're not here, would ask the board to treat it just like the same mistake that we had before, where you assume that they wrote the total amount correctly and that they made that mistake in writing the unit price. And that, is it reasonable, or is there any way you can assume that that unit price was what they intended? And in this case, if everybody's unit price was, in the $4, $5, $6 range. And they wrote 450.
Yeah, let me tell you what I'd like to do. I've got some questions on this. I know that we need to move these things along, and the motion process is okay for a situation that was package number 33, that's kind of clear. But when you have a package number 32 that's not clear, I need a board report that explains for me and for the board what's happening and how we got from point A to point B and what our recommendation is. So I'd like to continue package number 32 Fernando, what do you need for the appropriate continuance time for your posting of agendas?
I would need at least 3 days lead time, so I would recommend a week from today.
Okay, so I'd like to postpone it. Am I setting off some kind of problem with the sidewalk program that has a ripple effect if we continue it 1 week? No. No? Okay. Then let's continue agenda item number 10 to 1 week from today, and we can get a although if we want to file, if I want a board report on file for the record, should we just?
You have two options. One, we can withdraw the item, and this board cannot take any action at this point, and then direct staff to redraft a board report with the appropriate transmittals. Or two, you can continue the item, and then we can hear it as a motion.
I would like to withdraw the item and have a board report submitted. I just think that's safer, given what happened with this package. We have 5 bidders, we have a protest, we have some confusion on the numbers. I think a board report with the appropriate transmittals is the right way to go here. It's my take. Commissioner Rapini?
If we can get some further clarification as to when we are okay making, obviously making changes to what was submitted in a bid is a slippery slope. But to me, if it's a common sense type of thing where, well, clearly they didn't mean to write that, do we sometimes do that? How do we make those decisions?
Yeah, I think the request is actually a good one. Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. I think with withdrawing this item and then going back to redraft a board report, it also allows staff to go back and put in all the information that needs to be in the board report with all the appropriate transmittals, and then also work with the board office to look at the emergency bid opening procedures, and if there's any protest processes that need to be included, that we do that, just like we would with any other bids that we do here in front of the board. So in those cases, we do have 14 calendar days to make the bid protest. In this case, because it's an emergency bid opening, the board office did not receive any appeals or any bid protests related to this. Because it's an emergency, it goes directly to the bureaus. So we may have to revisit that. To answer your question, Commissioner Repenning, I think it's a great idea to look at what's the parameters, what can the board do, and what can the board not do in this case.
Okay. And Commissioner Cento?
Yep, no, I just, as long as we're able to provide the rationale and the information to determine the fact, the $170,000 difference and what was the rationale, I think that the board report itself can be strengthened, so I support that.
Commissioner Rivas?
Well, no, of course I agree with there being a board report, especially because this is 10 times, the difference, and I know like we talked about in the past, we did make a correction because we knew that amount was unreasonable, or the commas or something like that. But is 3 days enough time to allow?
Oh, we're going to withdraw it, and then they're going to resubmit it.
Oh, okay.
As a new agenda item.
Oh, so the 3 days was only if we were to
If we were
revisit
going
the
to
item.
continue.
Okay,
Yeah.
no, I didn't.
Yeah.
I thought 3 days was short if we want them
No.
to come, opportunity to come and protest.
No, it's going to be withdrawn,
Understood.
and they'll submit as a new board report. So it'll be re-agendized. And my apology to the Bureau on this. When I read this the first time, it made sense to me. But when we had the discussion, the question came up. And then when I looked at the numbers, because of that delta, it sounded to me like it was, this is no big deal. But then I realized there may be real delta there between MEEK and PPC, and there was. So, okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it. Mr. Campos, have we cleared the desk?
Actually takes you back to item number 11 for the motion.
I'm sorry.
So we were taking
while
10
you
and
were
11.
while you were searching, we took the vote, and Ann wrote down the motion, the second, and the vote.
Okay, so I have that moved by Commissioner James, seconded by Jacinto. No objections. Moving the item forthwith
Yes.
into the record. Yes,
And
we
that
will.
was for number 11.
Correct.
And number 10 is
was
withdrawn.
Yes. After
Okay.
that, you have cleared the record.
Okay,
You
great.
have cleared the desk.
Thank you. Hard to expect you to know for what you're happening when you're in your office searching. So the record is clear. Thank you, everyone. We are adjourned.